Hello, world. Today is Friday, May 22nd, 2026. This is a sideshow. I'm Theodore Parker, coming to you from the East Coast of the United States, Lexington, Kentucky. Let's get into the weather. Currently, it is 59 in this area and feels like 58. We have rain. A few days ago, we were experiencing temperatures in the 80s, hit the 90s. Now it has dropped down into the 50s, predicted today with a high of 70. Currently, it is raining, and we have flood watch from Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time until Saturday, 8 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Today, mainly cloudy and rainy. Highs in the low 70s and lows in the mid 60s. Rain likely to continue. Expect Thursday to be next no precipitation day. Temperatures noticeably higher than yesterday, up by 11 degrees. And as far as outdoor activities are concerned today, running is poor, cycling is poor, and gardening is poor. The AQI is good at 24. Pollen, tree, none. Grass, moderate. And ragweed, none. The UV index is low right now. And we have a light breeze at 6 miles per hour. Sunrise today was at 6:21 a.m. and sunset will be at 8:47 p.m. And as I said, it is currently raining at this time. So here we are on Friday. Ready for the weekend. And this is predicted to be the long Memorial holiday weekend. Memorial Day is Monday, May 25th. So we have a long weekend ahead of us here. Tuesday past was primary elections, and the news, broadcast TV, and the internet has been flooding the results. The primary election, voting was for mayor, representative, senators, and judges. And voting results were reported by districts. When it comes to districts come from counties in the state. And Kentucky, with 120 counties, has only one other state with more counties, and that's California. The size of a district is decided by population, not politics. This information is based on the census, which is conducted every 10 years. Conversations about redistricting is allowed at the midway point of the 10-year cycle for the census. But it cannot be implemented until the census is taken. So, Kentucky has been in the news because Trump's support for one of the candidates for the Senate, specifically the position that was held by Senator Mitch McConnell, who also was a Senate Majority Leader. In this situation, since he is a Republican, they would be looking for a Republican to replace him. The conversation took a turn when Thomas Massie, the incumbent congressman, no longer supported President Trump. Ed Gallerin, I hope I'm saying his name correctly, Gallrein, ran against Massie to win the most expensive House primary in U.S. history. So with 120 counties with 2 representatives, Kentucky has 240 representatives working from this state. Top stories for Friday, May 22nd, 2026. Number 1, Jeff Bezos wants the bottom half of earners to pay 0 income tax. He says nurses making just $75,000 a year should save $12,000 a year. Next up in the top stories, mastermind of $250 million Minnesota theft scheme gets 500-month sentence as feds charge more people with fraud. And I think that was Feed with Food, I think, something like that. Former CDC director on Ebola outbreak. I suspect this is going to become a very significant pandemic. And number 4 in the top stories, Britney Spears' arrest shown in police dash cam video. Next one, judges in Maine and Wisconsin dismiss Justice Department's attempts to force turnover of voter rolls. Next one, death row inmate gets reprieve after botched execution in Tennessee. Number 7, taxpayer spending on exorcisms derails Senate testimony. What the hell are we doing about it? Number 8, ICE agent charged with assault was surrendered to Minnesota authorities, attorney says. Trump ups reflecting pool renovation projections, to less than 20 million amid court fight. And tie things up. It just continually amazes me that Trump can have so many things going on in court, tying up litigation, lawyers, court's agenda on what I consider to be matters that are already have established guidelines, which he refuses to go by. So there it is. And I try not to let him live rent-free in my head, but it's almost like having a fire, a 3-alarm fire. You call the fire department and say, fire, fire. And they tell you, oh, it'll burn out. That's their answer. And number 10, nearly 1.2 million people worldwide are living with mental disorders. The number has been growing, and that's based on numbers gathered from 2023. And my +1 of the top stories, manic Trump posts 13 times in 3 minutes in 6 a.m. spree. So if you want to know what he's doing with his time, there's your answer. This last one that I wanted to share with you is out of Texas. And I should say this before I get into the article. Folks, do not try this at home. It does have to do with criminal behavior. So I'll let that speak for itself. But it's dated from 2 days ago, and it was completely amazing to me. It caught me completely off guard. And I was just left baffled. But here we go. Woman shoots boyfriend right between the eyes and in the back of the neck after he told her to shoot him, sheriff says. So Texas, 2 days ago. A Texas woman is behind bars after shooting her live-in boyfriend right between the eyes, Lone Star State law enforcement says. Alana Dawn Bilbo, 33, stands accused of one count of aggravated assault causing serious bodily injury to a person she is in a relationship with, according to charging documents obtained by Law and Crime. The underlying incident occurred on Monday evening at a residence on County Road 2813 in Alto, a tiny suburban town in the Piney Woods region located roughly 26 miles due west of Nacogdoches. Around 7 p.m., deputies with the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office arrived at the residence in response to reports of a shooting, according to a probable cause statement. Inside, detectives spoke with Bilbo after she was Mirandized. Defendant says she was in a verbal argument with her live-in boyfriend regarding their relationship, authorities said. Then at some point, the argument devolved into taunting and all but immediate violence, according to the charging document. Alana was standing in the doorway of their residence, and the boyfriend was standing outside in front of the stairway, yelling at her to shoot him. And she shot him between the eyes with a .22 caliber revolver. The probable cause statement reads, after being shot between the eyes, the man is said to have turned to his left while holding his face with his hands, as Bilbo allegedly shot him again in the back of the neck, according to the sheriff's office. On Tuesday, Cherokee County Sheriff Brent Dixon, said the shooting was at first reported as an accident, in comments reported by Jacksonville, Texas-based NBC affiliate KETK. After the incident, the victim was flown to a hospital in Tyler, where he was in stable condition as of Tuesday, according to the sheriff. The defendant and her boyfriend were both allegedly using drugs at the time of the shooting, Dixon told KETK. Bilbo is currently detained in the Cherokee County Jail on a $150,000 bond. A magistrate judge issued a protective order that bars the defendant from contacting her boyfriend for the next 3 months and prohibits her from possessing a firearm, records show. Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought that would have been the outcome of that one? So here we are again, Friday, May 22nd, 2026. Finals for the NBA begin June 3rd. National Women's Soccer League, baseball, UFC, United Football Conference, sports. Oh, one more thing before I forget. Netflix MMA debut with a 5-match card. Main event being Ronda Rousey and Gina Carrero. If you didn't see it, you should have. Not only did 4 of the 5 bouts end in first round knockouts, but the women put on a show. Besides all the hype and the build-up that goes with it, and I'm probably a little bit slanted because I'm a martial artist myself, and with the years that I've spent involved in the community and in just learning and learning to be better and all this other kind of stuff. I mentioned Tai Chi a lot, which is what I'm involved with presently. But MMA, in this particular instance, with these 2 women, you have the person who started it and then the person that brought it along. So they each have their reputation. their wins and maybe one loss each in their respective base categories. But what really moved me, although the commentators were saying that Ronda Rousey would take it, if she got the submission with an armbar. And this is where we have the distinction between judo and jiu-jitsu. Judo is like a throwing art, and jiu-jitsu is the throw plus the submission. So coming off of that, what really moved me was after the bout. Ronda Rousey set a record, even for her, 17 seconds in the first round for submission. I don't blame Gina Carroll for tapping out so quickly. She didn't need to just damage herself just by trying to wiggle around and get out of it and all those other kind of things. And although you may have missed it, Gina did, when they first made contact, Gina did have Ronda in a guillotine, but Ronda managed to come out of that and get the submission for the armbar, which is her trademark. But afterwards, these two women were doing something that really moved me. Not only were they talking, but they were laughing and crying and hugging each other. And nobody dared interrupt the moment. So for all of you who are not familiar with the martial arts community and the endeavor and the effort and practice that it goes into being good and making yourself better, take that as an example. That's it. Hashtag